Greetings, guys and guys. I am Reverend Jenfire Henderson, and I am the creator of the Rhesus Factor Research YouTube channel and Facebook page. Just a quick disclaimer, I am not a medical professional. However, my research is the result of decades of intense personal study. This episode is focused on the debunking of myths and misinformation that demonize Rh negatives by those controlling the narrative and those who have ignorantly bought into the lies. Rh negs are wild-type heirloom humans. I'm the first person to coin this term. Again, Rh negs are wild-type heirloom humans. So please stop demonizing Rh negative people. We are not aliens from another planet. We are not reptilians. We are not descendants of elite evil rulers or secret societies. We are not demon spawns from hell or serpent seed bloodlines or hybrid humans or whatever other crap people are saying about us in order to control the narrative by demonizing us. This demonization has resulted in discrimination and even death. For instance, a man killed his two small children because he believed his Rh-neg wife passed down her serpent DNA to their children. Now, it's important to understand that being Rh-negative is not a blood type. Being Rh-negative means that we do not have the RhD antigen. Do you know what an antigen is? It is a toxin or other foreign substance which induces an immune response in the body, especially the production of antibodies. You will see articles and videos falsely claiming that Rh negs are the most dangerous blood type. This simply isn't true. The RhD antigen itself is what's dangerous. If it wasn't for this antigen, everyone in the world would be Rh negative. Human mammalian blood platelets do not naturally produce the RhD antigen. Not only that, but Rh negatives are universal plasma and platelet donors. The world literally can't survive without us. Blood type is not the same as Rh factor. Blood type O neg is a universal plasma donor simply because blood type O is the most needed blood in the world at present. And blood type A neg is the universal platelet donor. Again, the RhD antigen is what is dangerous and makes people Rh positive. People who have this antigen on the surface of their red blood cells are more susceptible to other infections and viruses, infectious viruses, and diseases because the antigen is a sort of spike protein that acts as a binder or receptor for other pathogens to hitch a ride. All of the research supports this, and I'll put all the links in the description of this video for you. The question should not be where does the Rh negative person come from, but instead, how do we get rid of the RhD antigen? You might say, what? You can't get rid of it. Well, yes you can actually. Please see all the links in the description of this video. Just because most of the world has the RhD antigen and is Rh positive doesn't mean that it is normal. Those who control the narrative want you to believe that the Rh negative, the one who doesn't have the antigen, is abnormal, evil, or dangerous, or not from this world. But the opposite is true. They have reversed the truth in order to continue the spread of the RhD antigen. Please see my previous video called White Genocide and the Archonic Infection. Now, I don't find it just a coincidence that since the creation of RhoGAM shot in 1960, the Rh positive population has exploded over 5 billion. Not only that, but RhoGAM was originally called SkyMed. I'm also the very first person to connect Rh negative blood type with Parthenogenesis. You will hear many Christian Rh negs claiming that Rh negs are the bloodline of Jesus. But believe it or not, there is some truth to this. Let me explain. The problem is they believe in the patriarchal version of the story of Parthenogenesis. Jesus was not a male, but was, in fact, a child of human parthenogenesis, as were many others. This was not just a one-time event. Jesus was female, not a male. In a future video, I will give you evidence of this. Not only that, but Parthenogenesis was happening all over Europe among young girls, and it had nothing to do with them being a virgin, or aka undefiled property of man. Patriarchons, as I call them, twisted the fact of Parthenogenesis via deus ex machina, which means they posed it as a one-time event of divine intervention and went around killing young girls the age of 13 because they were afraid of it happening again. They controlled the narrative and claimed that Parthenogenesis was an immaculate conception by a virgin birth or mythic super rape for the patriarchal God to incarnate himself as the divine son. This allowed them to use religion to control the situation and justify their male domination and supremacy through lies, manipulation, and male violence. Make no mistake about it, the attempts to demonize Negs is part of their anti-life death cult agenda. And let me just add, this is not an attack on all men. I do not hate all men. So please, again, see all my previous videos, and specifically the white genocide and the archonic infection. Another thing, beware of the online social media groups full of people claiming they are Rh-Negs. Even those leading the groups are probably not Rh-Neg. A large majority of the content in these groups is misinformation, blatant lies, and demonization of Rh-Negs and people terrorizing the group with their Bible bullshit. People will also frequently say that Rh-Negs are 15% of the world population, but this is also not true. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This first image is from the Stanford Blood Center. Most people would think that they are a credible source, but the information they are giving is incorrect. First of all, RhD status is not inherited. It is acquired or contracted through the blood and is separate from the actual blood type. The RhD antigen is neither recessive nor dominant because it is an antigen, not a gene. Here's some other images I've provided. Also, we are not 15% worldwide, as I said before. We are less than 6% worldwide and 15% in the U.S. population. I'll just go through some of those images here to show you. And again, I'll put links in the description of this video for you to do your own research. And here is another example of misinformation from what most people would consider a credible source from the Cleveland Clinic. This source claims that the Rh factor doesn't cause problems or hurt your health in any way. This just simply isn't true. And again, see the links below that I've provided as evidence. In an abstract, it says the Rhesus D antigen, RhD positive, has been associated with susceptibility to several viral infections. Reports suggest that RhD-negative individuals are better protected against infectious diseases and have overall better health. Another scholarly research article says the results. The incidences of Rh positive and Rh negative blood groups with HIV/AIDS were found to be 97% and 3%. And another one, Rhesus type in COVID-19. The impact of Rh type on COVID-19 infection deserves a special focus. Rh type is the second most important blood group system after ABO typing. Like ABO types, Rh type refers to proteins on the surface of the red blood cells, and we're going to get to that. These proteins are antigens on the surface of the red blood cells and what they do to make the Rh positive more susceptible to these infectious diseases. I'm going to prove that to you in just a minute. Clinically, this system plays an important role in blood transfusion and erythroblastosis fetalis. Not sure I pronounced that right, but recent studies also demonstrate a significant impact in COVID-19 infection and illness as well. As mentioned previously, of the 9 studies included in this review, 5 investigated Rh blood type. 4 of 5 studies found significant associations with Rh negative blood grouping and found that subjects with Rh-negative blood type were at lower risk of viral infection, severe illness, and mortality after COVID infection. Our study, along with Leaf et al., also found that Rh-negative subjects were at lower risk of infection but did not find any impact on COVID-19 related illness or mortality. Although overall results might be mixed, there is a consistent theme on Rh type and susceptibility to COVID-19 infections. Not only that, but the function of the RhD antigen that makes a person Rh positive still remains vague. They don't even know why it's there. They're just going around and controlling the narrative and saying that, oh, the person who has the antigen, the Rh positive, because most people in the world now have it, is normal. So then, therefore, that must mean that the Rh negative is abnormal. And that is a reversal of the truth. In addition, the red cell membrane is host to numerous surface antigens like the RhD antigen, which are able to influence susceptibility to disease. By acting as receptors for pathogens or by influencing the immune response, investigations have shown that human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, can bind and gain entry into erythrocytes, and therefore it is hypothesized that blood groups can play a role in this process. And then also there will be a link in the description to show you how red blood cells are targets of infection. And that goes to with what I'm talking with you about on how, I don't find it just a coincidence that the Rh positive population exploded over 5 billion since the creation of the RhoGAM shot, and the fact that now I'm showing you actual evidence that people with this RhD antigen, those who are Rh positive, are susceptible to a wide range of infectious diseases and viruses that Rh negatives are not. And this is because they have the antigen on the surface of the red blood cells that acts as a receptor. And this is because it is a spike protein. Just how you would go and you would get a test for COVID, you're testing for the COVID antigen. So when you're getting tested for the Rh factor, you're getting tested for the RhD antigen. And this antigen is not good. It's not good. It's not normal, even though that is how they're trying to control the narrative and convince you that it is normal. It's not. Now, with all that said, it is critical that we, as Rh-negs, understand the importance of being absent of the RhD antigen and what that means for all of humanity. Not only that, but also realizing the connection between being Rh-neg and human parthenogenesis, the witch hunts and trials, and white genocide, to name a few. And as I said at the beginning of this, Rh-negs are wild-type heirloom humans. Rh positives cannot be classified as wild-type because they have the RhD antigen. The only way to change this is to remove the RhD antigen. I'm not saying go around and killing all Rh positives. It can medically be removed. As I've shown in previous posts, this can be done. However, the medical professionals and scientists are programmed that there is nothing wrong with it, so they don't invest effort into curing it. The first example of this curing it, or shift from Rh positivity to Rh negative, let me open this up here, is a shift from Rh positive to Rh negative phenotype caused by a somatic mutation within the RhD, and they say RhD gene, but it's not a gene. Okay, it's an antigen in a patient with chronic myelocytic leukemia. The next one is an interesting case of blood group switch after breast cancer therapy. The next one is a loss of Rh antigens, how a Rh positive became an Rh negative. And then the last one is new laboratory procedures and Rh blood type changes in a pregnant woman. Now note, you will not find studies of an Rh negative shifting to be an Rh positive. This should tell us something. There is nothing wrong with the Rh neg. It's the RhD antigen itself that makes a person Rh positive that needs cured or removed from, eradicated from the blood. The Rh neg cannot shift to being an Rh positive because human mammal blood platelets do not naturally produce the RhD antigen. In other words, the Rh neg blood is already pure or clean. A blood transfusion of an Rh-neg will not and cannot result in a shift to Rh positivity. So this is very important. And I'm going to say it again. It's critical that we, as Rh-negs, understand the importance of being absent of this RhD antigen and what that means for all of humanity. Not only that, but also realizing the connection between being Rh-neg, human parthenogenesis, the witch hunts and trials, and the white genocide. Please look into all the links and the information that I'm giving you and connect the dots. Thanks for listening.